My work is probably best described as high definition. Some people, when they look at it, think it's hyper-realistic. I haven't chosen to go that direction, but it still works that way because of the colors I choose, the light and dark that I use, and the size of my brushes. I use small brushes. I use a layering technique that I learned from just trial and error. I don't know if anyone else in the world paints that way, but my paintings have at least 4 layers of paint on the landscape portion, and I may have as many as 7 or 8 layers in the sky. When you look at my work, in order to understand how I paint, you've got to get your nose right up to the canvas. Obviously, most of us don't do that. So some people may walk away with a misconception of how I paint. I just paint the way I think it ought to look, the way I think it ought to be painted. I paint them for me, and if someone else enjoys it, that's just fine. My paintings, to me, I want to have them to be intimate. What I mean by that is I want to know where my feet are on the ground. I don't want to feel like I'm hovering over the landscape. You can learn a lot about your surroundings by seeing something that's as close as 9 feet away from your feet. So that's typically where I start. I learned all this by taking my camera and laying out a grid on the floor to find out, what's realistic, what's real. I mean, when you paint a painting, it should match what you see when you're naturally standing there. The frame is just something we put around it, but the frame determines, and the size of the painting determines how close to your eye the window is of what you're looking at. So I'll have 1/3 of a sky. The top third is a sky. The bottom 2/3 would be the landscape itself, but I can get as close as 9 feet away from my own feet. So I can see what's coming out of the ground. I can see what the dirt's like. Is it sandy? Is it arid? And all these things. It helps put you there.